You want to know how to spark her emotional desire in 3 simple steps, and you're tired of vague advice, recycled cliches, and the kind of theory that sounds nice in a book but collapses the second you meet a real woman with real standards and a real life. Good. Because the truth I'm about to give you is not about memorizing lines or performing tricks. It's about installing a masculine operating system inside you, an inner structure that automatically signals safety, mystery, and direction. When a woman senses these 3 forces flowing from you, desire doesn't need to be convinced. It wakes up, it leans forward, and it starts investing in you because you make her feel something she cannot feel on her own. Most men chase attention, few men evoke emotion. Right now, we're going to turn you into the latter by aligning your voice, your body, your presence, and your words so they press the same emotional buttons consistently. If what you've heard so far is shifting how you see yourself, stay with me until the end, because we're about to get surgical with your presence, your timing, and your escalation. By the time we're done, you'll have 3 steps you can walk into any room and apply tonight with 0 gimmicks and no need to be anyone other than a more deliberate version of you. Before we get into the steps, let's expose the silent mistakes that kill attraction. You over-explain yourself because you're afraid of being misunderstood. You over-text because you're terrified that space equals loss. You overpraise because you think compliments buy you closeness. You talk to fill silence because silence feels like a verdict. You move too fast when she's uncertain, and you move too slow when she's signaling readiness. This is not a moral failure, it's a calibration failure. Most men don't realize that women are constantly reading rhythm more than content. The pace you speak, the pauses you keep, the microsecond you hold eye contact before you look away, the steadiness of your breath when she tests you with a teasing remark. She's measuring your nervous system for authority, not your word count for cleverness. If you want her desire, build a rhythm she can relax into and then get excited by. Your words are the sail, but your nervous system is the wind. And no woman wants to board a boat that can't hold direction. So here's the architecture. Step 1 creates the emotional safety that lets her nervous system open. Step 2 creates the mystery and pull that makes her curious enough to invest. Step 3 provides direction and escalation, the clean masculine leadership that turns curiosity into chemistry. Skip any one of these and you'll get stuck. Without safety, she resists. Without mystery, she gets bored. Without direction, she loses respect. With all 3, you stop chasing and start magnetizing. If this is hitting something inside you, drop your thoughts below. I read every word because your clarity helps me shape content that hits you where it matters most. Step 1 is about the energy you radiate before you say a single word, grounded, uncluttered, and self-led. Picture walking into a room. Your phone is out of sight. Your shoulders are relaxed, not inflated. Your head is slightly lifted as if you're listening to the room breathe. You don't try to be seen, you allow yourself to be seen. Your eyes don't dart. They scan slowly, warmly, like you're selecting, not searching. You move as if someone is already waiting for you somewhere else. Time is on your side. That quiet sense of, I'm going where I'm going, is the first signal that melts resistance. She needs to feel that attention is a gift you choose, not a lifeline you need. Breathe lower into your belly. Let your exhale be smoother than your inhale. This alone lowers the volume of your entire presence. Most men walk up to a woman carrying invisible noise. You will walk up carrying quiet intention. When you approach, keep your opener simple and grounded in the environment so it feels inevitable, not rehearsed. You've got the most focused energy in here. What's got you so locked in is stronger than compliments about looks because it touches identity and invites her to show herself. Be precise with compliments. Pick one detail she chose, her book, her boots, her dry humor in a comment she made, and reflect it back with authenticity. I like how you chose that. It tells me you don't follow trends. This creates what I call identity safety, the feeling that you see who she's being, not just how she looks. Combine that with a light, elegant time boundary. I'm meeting a friend in 10, but I had to say hi. This does 2 things. It signals you're not there to absorb into her, and it gives the interaction a frame that you control from the first minute. Paradoxically, time limits increase ease because they reduce the fear of being trapped. You make space feel safe by managing time well. The next piece of step 1 is the grounded pause. After she answers, don't stack questions immediately. Let there be a half second of silence where you actually consider her answer like it matters. Then give a short reflection before you ask anything else. Focused but not rigid. I like that. What keeps you interested lately? That reflection proves you were listening, not loading your next line. Women feel listened to when you slow your responses just enough to metabolize their words. That half second is masculine gold because it tells her nervous system you're not reactive, you're responsive. The difference is attractive in a way no outfit can fake. Read tests as invitations instead of threats. If she teases you, "Oh, are you always this forward?" Feel your feet on the floor before you respond. Smile a little, tilt your head, and answer with light containment. Only when it makes sense. You made this one easy. That line communicates two things. You're discerning, and you chose her. You're not apologizing. You're calibrating. Masculine presence isn't about overpowering. It's about clean containment. She tries to push and finds you won't topple. She registers that your interest is steady but not needy, and now her system can start to open because you can hold the interaction without demanding constant reassurance. If what I'm saying is giving you that inner click, that "this is how it's supposed to feel" sensation, stay locked in because the next step is where safety turns into intrigue. Step 2 is mystery and pull, creating curiosity without playing games. Mystery isn't about hiding, it's about revealing selectively. You give her something true and textured, then you leave a thread hanging so she can reach for more. Start by anchoring your identity with vivid specificity rather than vague labels. Don't say, "I work in tech." Say, "I build tools that make complex things invisible. If you notice my work, I failed." Notice the difference? One is a box, the other is a doorway. She can walk through that doorway with questions. You want the way you speak to feel like an invitation to explore, not a pamphlet to skim. Follow it with a light contrast that hints at a life in motion. I spend most mornings off screens, coffee, a notebook, and listening to the city wake up. After that, I'll talk to anyone, but before that, it's just me and quiet. Specific, sensory, a rhythm she can picture. Now she's curious about your rituals, your standards, your discipline. You didn't brag, you painted. Use questions that create emotion, not just exchange information. Instead of, "What do you do?" ask, "What part of your week do you protect the most from other people?" That question reveals values faster than any resume. What are you learning right now that's actually hard? Gets you into her growth edge. If you had one selfish month, no permission needed, how would you spend it? Pulls desire out of hiding. These questions open her internal theater, and when she reveals it in your presence, she bonds to you because you are now associated with her own self-discovery. Emotional desire thrives where a woman gets to feel more of herself, not less. Guide her there without judgment or rush, and she'll start associating you with relief, expansion, and excitement. 3 addictive emotions. Thread push-pull with care, acceptance without worship, challenge without aggression. If she says, "I love spontaneous trips," you'll smile and say, "Spontaneous is sexy if you can land the plane." Most people love takeoff. The landing is where you find out who's actually grounded. You accept her desire, and you challenge her competency. That duality lights up the part of her that wants to prove herself to you, not because you're cruel, but because you're selective. Desire wants standards. Curiosity grows when access is earned, not dumped out. This is why you don't rush to overshare your entire biography. Keep your answers vivid but measured, and redirect at times. I'll tell you that story later. It's better over a short walk. Now you've created a future moment without begging for it. Use micro-stories that are real, short, and sensory. I had a conversation with a taxi driver at 6 a.m. last week about why he plays classical music on the night shift. It made the whole city feel like a movie. That's a 10-second glimpse of your world that carries taste, time, and mood. She hears that and senses you notice life's texture. You're not numb. Mystery is alive in men who notice detail because it hints at depth beyond the surface. Women don't want a spotlight performer. They want a man who can illuminate a space by how he perceives it. That perception builds pull. And because you're not performing, she won't feel like she's part of an audience. She'll feel like a collaborator in a conversation that keeps opening. Timing matters. Space is a seduction tool when you wield it with intention. In person, you create space by shifting your body angle a few degrees, by letting silence breathe after a strong moment, by glancing away briefly as if catching a thought and then returning to her eyes. These small acts communicate you have an inner world that doesn't collapse under her gaze. Over text, space means you don't flood. Keep your digital cadence simple. You reply when you have something to add, not to maintain a heartbeat that doesn't need life support. Mirror her pace loosely, but lead the rhythm. If she sends you a paragraph about something meaningful, reply with a voice note that's shorter than her text, but richer in tone. "Tell me the part you didn't say yet," is a line that invites depth without pressure. Remember, attention is a currency. Spend it on significance, not on maintenance. Preselection is real, but performative preselection is repulsive. The way to signal social value is not to mention how many people like you, it's to be constantly contributing to your environment in small, elegant ways that require no applause. You hold a door without dramatics. You introduce two people who should meet. You tip like a gentleman and you make the barista laugh with a clean, quick remark that brightens her day. Women notice a man's micro-leadership in public far more than the monologues he deploys in private. The ambient signal is that life gets organized around you. That awakens desire. She can picture herself inside your momentum. And when she sees other people responding well to your presence, her nervous system relaxes before her mind catches up. Now let's talk about tension. The good kind. Tension is the pulse of desire because it's the space between what is and what could be. You create it by holding eye contact a beat longer after she reveals something vulnerable, by letting your smile fade into a softer gaze at the exact moment she's finishing a sentence, by slightly lowering your voice when you say her name for the first time. The name is important. Use it sparingly and with intention. Whispered or gently spoken, it changes the chemistry of the moment. Vary your tempo. Steady during questions, slower during reflections, playful and quick when teasing, then slow again before you suggest a shift. Rhythm is the invisible rope you draw her in with. You'll know she's hooked when she starts asking you questions, when she leans in during your pauses, when her sentences trail upward as if inviting your finish. That's a green light to move towards step 3. Step 3 is direction and escalation, the clean, masculine art of moving the interaction forward without force. Desire needs a container. You create it. First principle. Suggest shifts that are small, timely, and easy to say yes to. "Let's walk to the corner. The light is better there," is easier than "let's go somewhere else." "Come with me. I want to show you something for 2 minutes." Gives both a reason and a limit. Start with micro leads, turning slightly and guiding her with your body language, holding the door with a confident pause that assumes she'll follow, pointing out something and walking toward it lightly. Each small yes opens the door to the next yes. Read her responsiveness, not your agenda. If she matches your step, mirrors your turn, or initiates a question after you move, you're in sync. If she lags, you slow, smile, and re-engage without chasing. Direction is an offer, not a demand. Escalation requires calibration. There are 3 zones: green, amber, red. Green is obvious. Proximity closes, her shoulders are open, her answers expand, she teases, she touches you lightly during laughter or emphasis. Amber is mixed signals. She smiles but steps back. She answers but shortens her sentences. She asks a superficial question after a deeper one. Red is clear. She crosses arms, leans away, checks out, or gives monosyllables. Your job is to escalate only in green, maintain and warm up in amber, and gracefully release in red. Why is this attractive? Because restraint is power. You telegraph respect and self-control. That's a lightning strike to a woman's sense of safety. Nothing sparks desire like a man who can hold back even when he wants to move forward. It shows that your body follows your mind, not the other way around. Touch is the bridge from mental charge to physical chemistry. But you don't jump the river. You build it plank by plank. Start with functional touch that has purpose. Guiding her through a crowded spot with the back of your hand near her shoulder blade for a second. High-fiving after a shared joke and letting your fingers linger a heartbeat longer than necessary. Briefly touching her elbow as you make a point and then removing your hand first. Notice if she returns touch unprompted. If she does, you can step to associative touch, lightly touching her ring, bracelet, or necklace when you're referencing it, then letting your hand drop. If she holds your gaze and doesn't break, you can escalate to intimate but still public safe touch, standing a little closer, letting your knee brush hers if seated, placing your hand more fully on her upper back when you move her through a door. Each step requires micro-permission from her body language. If she leans in, you match. If she pauses, you cool the space with a smile and a topic shift. Mastery is not a straight line. It's a dance with the lights dimmed and the senses bright. Verbal escalation is just as important. Speak your interest cleanly. I like how your mind moves. It's rare, said with steady eye contact, lands heavier than any generic flattery. Your trouble in the best way, paired with a small smile and a slow nod, invites her to feel playful without labeling her negatively. When the moment is charged, name the moment without shattering it. This is one of those pauses that makes everything else a little louder. That line is an acknowledgement of the electricity in the air. You didn't ask permission for the moment to exist. You recognized it with presence. If she smiles and softens, you hold her gaze for one more heartbeat. Then you shift the scene. Let's get some air for a second. Movement, after a charged moment, intensifies the memory of the charge. It allows the desire to stretch across spaces. Whenever you set plans, lead with specificity and options, never with a plea. Wednesday at 7, 10 minutes from here. There's a spot that makes the best espresso after dark. The barista sings while he works. Come for one drink. If it's not our vibe, we'll walk. Specific places, sensory details, and a release valve, that's direction done right. Avoid the limp question mark that bleeds your authority. So maybe we could hang out sometime? You're not auditioning, you're inviting. And invitations are more compelling when they are shaped. If she hesitates, don't sell harder, reduce the distance. No pressure, we'll keep it short. Then leave it, change the subject, and keep your vibe intact. A man who doesn't push after a no is remembered with trust. Trust is desire's oxygen. Testing will continue. She might throw you a curve after you lead. You're used to getting your way, aren't you? You smile like you've already seen the outcome and reply, only when it's worth it. You didn't deny your power, you qualified it. If she asks about your last relationship early, don't get dragged into a courtroom. Keep it true and forward-facing. We wanted different rhythms. I prefer clean endings. That's it. You're not avoiding. You're refusing to bleed out your past for cheap intimacy. Strong boundaries increase her respect because you show that your inner world is not a public park. The more she senses your standards, the more she will relax into your leadership if you've already built safety and curiosity. Your style is not the words, it's the alignment between what you say and what your body says. If your voice shakes but your eyes are steady, she trusts the eyes. If your words are confident but your posture is collapsed, she trusts the posture. Align them. Speak a fraction slower than you feel like speaking. Breathe before you answer anything heavy. Keep your feet planted when you talk about your values. When you tease, back it with warmth in your eyes. When you challenge, pair it with a small smile. Use her name once, not 5 times. Pause on it. You'll feel the air thicken just enough to register. That's the moment she stops hearing a guy and starts feeling a man. Now let's make this a field manual you can use tonight. You see her at a cafe, focused on her screen with a posture that says she appreciates her own company. You take 10 seconds to read the space. You approach from the side she can see, not from behind. You lean a fraction so your presence is at her eye level, and you say, "You've got the look of someone who protects her focus. I respect that. I'm your name. 2 minutes, then I'll let you get back to it." You just created safety, signal of respect, and a clean time boundary. She smiles, you hold her gaze, and you follow with, "What are you working on that makes you forget time?" She tells you something small. You reflect. That explains the way you were holding your breath. She laughs because you noticed. You ask, "What part of that actually challenges you?" She opens a little. You share a short sensory micro-story about your morning ritual that connects to her theme. Then you tilt your head toward the window and say, "Come, change of view." You both step 3 feet, your bodies angled differently, and the moment refreshes. You end with, "I'm meeting someone in 20. If you're around Wednesday 7, there's a spot 2 blocks away that understands lighting the way you understand focus. 1 drink. If it's not our vibe, we'll call it early." She says yes, or she says maybe. You nod. You exchange details. You step back first. That's direction with elegance. If you're already seeing someone, use the same 3 steps to turn stale into charged. Step 1. Reignite safety by stabilizing your rhythm. Fewer scattered texts, more presence in person. Give your attention in concentrated doses rather than a constant stream. Step 2. Reintroduce curiosity by changing the backdrop. New neighborhoods, different pace, a small surprise in the middle of a routine. Reveal something you've been working on that she didn't know about. A skill, a project, a private goal. And let her discover it instead of announcing it. Step 3. Direct the dynamic with clean requests and calibrated touch. Tonight, I'm taking your phone for an hour. You're getting it back with photos that make you smile next week, said with a grin and followed through with playful, respectful control, sparks the dynamic again. Remember, women feel desire for men who shape time and space in ways that make life feel richer. You don't need to be aggressive, you need to be decisive. A word on texting that will save you months. Treat texts as bridges, not destinations. Send messages that open doors to emotions or logistics, not endless commentary. 3 things made me think of you today. I'll tell you one now. The other 2 need your face, creates curiosity, and directs toward a meet. Use voice notes for tone and warmth. They carry more weight than paragraphs because they transmit your calm and playfulness. Don't debate over text. Redirect to voice or in person, where your presence carries the meaning. If she fades, don't chase with paragraphs. Drop a clean, light line that honors reality and your value. I like momentum. If this isn't the week, no stress. When it is, I'll know. Then move. Scarcity is not a threat. It's a natural consequence of living a life in motion. Uncertainty is part of the dance. Your task is to be a stable reference point. That means your self-respect is not negotiable. When she cancels last minute, you tell her, "Thanks for the heads up. Let's pick a time you can protect." If she tries to move you into a text-only purgatory, you set the frame. I prefer the real thing. When you're ready to be present, I'm in. If she pushes on your standards, hold them with a smile. You're not angry, you're immovable. This is not about being rigid, it's about being rooted. A man rooted in his standards is more attractive than any man who adapts himself into comfort. She can trust what she can predict. She can't predict a man who changes himself to avoid every friction. Calibrate your humor. Keep it dry and observational. Tease what she chooses, not what she can't change. If she orders something elaborate, "That order had chapters," said with a grin, is flirty without being cruel. If she says she's indecisive, you reply, "I'll keep the big decisions. You handle the tiny rebellions." It's playful, assigning roles that hint at your leadership while giving her a space to bring spice. Humor is seduction's parachute. You both fall slower and laugh on the way down. When the moment arrives to intensify intimacy, name your desire cleanly. "I want to kiss you," said while holding her gaze, is stronger than leaning in and hoping. If she says, "Not yet," you nod once, smile, and say, "I like your pace." Then you step back half a step and keep the connection alive. That moment of restraint ignites trust because you proved your desire is governed, not loose. Desire backed by discipline is irresistible because it's safe enough to surrender to. When she signals green again, lingering eye contact, leaning in, softening lips, you move with certainty and without hurry. The first kiss is slow, present, unstacked. You let the silence do the heavy lifting. You break first. Your eyes stay on hers, and you change the subject lightly with a line that keeps the polarity alive. Now the espresso's in trouble. After a powerful moment, you exit gracefully. You don't overdose the night. You plant a future seed, and you leave while the thread is taut. "I like this," you say simply. Then you let her watch you walk away with that easy, anchored posture that brought you in. She'll replay the exact angle of your smile, the cadence of your sentences, the way your breath didn't rush when she pressed you. She'll feel a calm in her body where chaos usually lives. That's the gift of your presence, and women crave men who are a relief from the noise and a doorway into richer feeling. Internalize this. You are not trying to be chosen. You are choosing whom to invite into your pace. The 3 steps, safety, mystery, direction, aren't tactics to deploy. They are gears you live in. When you live in them, you stop asking, "Do I have permission to be attractive?" And you start asking, "Is this the moment to lead or to listen?" You'll know by her breathing, her eyes, her timing. You'll know because you're present enough to notice. The man who notices creates desire. The man who makes her feel more of herself, more alive, more at ease, and more excited at the same time, That man gets chosen without chasing. If you want a final calibration check, run this through your mind before you approach or text her. 1. Is my nervous system quiet? 2. Am I revealing something specific and leaving a thread for her to pull? 3. Am I offering a next step with boundaries and ease? If yes, move. If no, breathe and recenter. Make your first 3 minutes count, then let the space do some of the speaking. Speak to her identity with precision. Ask questions that pull emotion. Offer movement that's easy to accept. Read signals. Escalate only in green. Protect your standards like they protect your time. This is how you spark emotional desire in 3 steps. You ground her nervous system with your presence, you awaken her curiosity with textured truth, and you guide her with clean direction. She doesn't fall for you because you convinced her. She falls because you organized the chaos in a way that made surrender feel intelligent. If this landed, stay with me. The next time we talk, I want you to bring a story, a real one, of how you used these 3 steps and what changed. Drop it below. I read every single one because iron sharpens iron, and your wins sharpen the entire brotherhood. And if you know a man who needs this, who's a good guy but stuck in chaos, send this to him today. Don't keep it to yourself. Your circle is your mirror. Make it sharper. If you're still here, you feel it. The shift from tricks to truth. That feeling in your chest right now is the beginning of a new baseline. Hold it. Walk with it. Take it into the next conversation you have today, even if it's with a barista or a neighbor. Practice risk with elegance. Practice pauses that let her reveal herself. Practice leadership that doesn't demand applause. When you do, you'll stop asking how to get attention and start deciding who deserves yours. That is the quiet power that turns interest into desire and desire into something she protects. And when she looks at you like that, like the space around her finally makes sense, you'll know you did it right. Stay sharp. Lead well. I'll see you in the next one.